Hello again. Today could be short, could be long, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm going to start by leaving these couplings to one side. I'm going to talk about my Clar 9F, Hornby 9F. This was a railroad model, I think it still is, railroad model. Not very expensive, a nice model, reasonable detailing. Tender, sprung buffers, lovely. They run beautifully. They do slip a bit if you try and pull something that's too heavy, but there you go. The only problem I had was after actually a couple of years with these, the tender started to derail, which I thought was odd. The locomotive soundtrack, and it would actually eventually derail the front wagons in whatever train you were pulling. It got worse and worse, and I couldn't run them. The older one started first, and then the second one did the same thing. So I had a look at them. Couldn't work it out. They looked all right from underneath. And when I opened up, I found the empty ring-filled motor in there, made of an alloy called Mazak, I think it's called. It's a white metal alloy, and it actually had warped in the long sense that, to say, these wheels were pointing that way, the rear wheels were pointing the other way, and the centre ones were in the middle. So it was trying to go around corners all the time, and it was actually to the left, as it happens, on both of them. I didn't want to buy new tenders. I couldn't actually find any new tenders, because going on to couplings later on, this has got these stupid couplings which transfer the power, you can see that through there, through those two contacts and the top plate. It's a hopeless system. It very rarely works. It's filthy dirty all the time, never works properly. I can't get it out now. Come on. Thank you. And basically that was it. You've got this bent piece of Mazak inside there. What do? I put it to one side, and I was working on something in the house, and down at my local hardware store I found this piece of aluminium. It's an extrusion, it's U-shaped, and it just happens to be exactly the right size to fit these things in. This was my first effort. My second one is better than this, and it would actually, you can see from the screws, hold the original contacts for the pickups, which I had on. My other end locomotive has actually got them on it at the moment. This is my first one, and as you can see, it isn't actually quite straight. I drilled out the little holes there, and there are little brass what do you call it, bearings pushed in, so I pushed them in there, screw it in, and it works a treat. And it saved me from either buying a new tender, which is stupid to my mind, and throwing the thing away, because a 9F with no tender, and it hadn't got an ordinary coupling or anything else, so you couldn't put anybody else's tender on there. Would have worked. So that, just thought I'd say that. It's an ordinary piece of aluminium extrusion. They're standard, they must be standard in England too. Obviously this is metric, but it works. And the other one's got pickups on, it works even better. And this thing, of course, I've got rid of. I've got wires now, like the more modern locomotives have wires from there to there, and so have I. I put wires on my other ones. So that's it. Just a comment on that. For literally no money at all, I've managed to save both of them, and they run perfectly well. But that's not today's thing, really. Today's thing, as you can see, is going to be about couplings. There are dozens of them, as you know. Basically, in England, we have, where is it? We'll start with this one. This one's very old. It's a Triang unit. It's not double O, it's just Triang. But the early coupling, the earliest one I've got, is this one. It doesn't have even a full round end on it like this one does. It just has a half. It works perfectly well. Very primitive, very big. It looks horrible, and it's very pointy. You stick that in your finger, you'll remember it. It's also very heavy. This is actually a metal chassis on this thing. I actually bought it, made in England as well. No China there. I bought this by accident. It was on eBay, and I wanted a long time ago. Wanted a wagon like this. I didn't realise that it was an old Triang thing with these couplings on it. I've kept it. I've got the original box as well. I've kept it because it's just so unusual, so different. And all the bends on this thing are deliberately there. They're not. They haven't been bent by me. Were bent like this new. That, of course, morphed into, where is it? Use this one. The classic Hornby style couplings like this, metal, similar thing to that, half round, and that's it. This is quite old as well, and they will actually hook together. I'll move that back a bit. And the reason I started looking at all this is because in the background here you can see, if I turn this around a little bit, one of my cleaning trains, class 16, with two trucks on it. One of them at the back's got felt on it, which this thing actually fills up here with the liquid of your choice, which dribbles through to the felt pad and cleans very well. This one has from time to time different grades of sandpapers or glass paper, or wet and dry, whatever, so something different every time. And the two together work very well, but they had European couplings like that. These are sort of little half round things with a pin sticking up in the middle, and they run together like, I have to hold them down, they run together like one or other of them like that. If, yeah, as you can see they don't. Let's try the other end. Do it again. Here we are. So we can get that in there. Well, they do anyway. They lift up like that and fall down, and of course they're pretty bad. They move in this direction here. These ones are fairly good because they don't move too much. They're fitted on with a screw. These ones are part of the wagon, so you can't change that one. Different design. Now if I take these two bogies here, which are off, I think they were off a cattle truck, some kind of, I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, if I push them together you'll see what they do. They both lift, one of them lifts the other one up, and they both fall over the two hooks. So if they are at the right height, they work very well. And these ones, having fixed arms like that, will actually couple up and uncouple properly. Put that out of the way. Whereas these two will not. Well, sometimes you bash it hard enough, they will. Sometimes, yeah. There you go. It's done it. But of course, when you're running trains, you can't have that. That's out to lunch. You can't do that. So going back to this one, it had these couplings on it. They are the little half-round ones, and of course they was unusual because, in actual fact, if I lift this one up, there's what was left one. I've left that on there for other things. These, there's the screw, there's the system. This one, of course, is locked, which is quite good. This one is not, but doesn't matter because this is permanently the stuff it picks up. You see that it does actually work. The couplings I've used on that, right, they're by Fleischmann. And if I can actually see that, oops, I'll try not to. The problem is that, of course, they have to be lined up, but they will go click like that, and they're clipped together. They do uncouple. Look at a little spigot thing underneath. If you push it up, they uncouple, but you pick them up vertically, they just uncouple as well. So these are very good because I do often want to push my cleaners around in front of the locomotive instead of pulling them around behind it, because obviously if you pull it around behind it, the locomotive on dirty tracks gets dirty, won't run properly. So if you push it round, it works much better in some circumstances. Down sidings, for example, if you pull it down the siding, it gets stuck regularly. But this system actually pushes as well as it pulls. So basically, as you've seen it, they're hooked on with a rather nice thing. This is the person, YD Models. There's a number on there and everything. Got these off the internet. I found them after much trouble. And they actually make, there is one here, they actually make, you fold them around. As you can see here, they're etched, and the etched lines are actually fold marks, and it's very easy to fold them around into a square, and your NEM what's-its will go in there, and then you can fix them on any way you like. These little arm things on the end will actually do that. If you've got something on the wagon, will stop them. So there's the coupling I'm using. If you push that up, it uncouples, which is nice. But if you pick them up vertically, you can pull the wagon off for servicing or whatever. So that's why I was using that, and that started me off. That was the first one I bought, which was completely different to Hornby and Bachmann and all the rest of them. Obviously, with Hornby and Bachmann, if I turn that round, you have got a tremendous number of, oops, let's go over there, like that. And if we can go in there, you'll be able to see all these couplings. And they're all different. They look, some of them look the same. It really is amazing how this came about. Different sizes. There's a large one in plastic with a screw hole. Here's a large one which goes into a NEM pocket without a screw hole. Here is another one which clips in to the wagon. It has a little round piece on the wagon there. All the same thing, all in plastic. Next size down is this stuff here. Here's one for NEM pockets, which has lost its hook. Here's one with a clip and a hole. Then we go down to the smallest ones, which are the one we're using now, with an NEM pocket on it. There's the NEM pocket that goes with it. That one fits to a wagon or a locomotive in certain circumstances. So that, as you can see, that you're getting a lot of pickups, a lot of couplings, couplings. Here's another, so here's the more modern European one. This one works a little bit better. It also looks better because it's smaller. But exactly the same, you push them together and they hook over each other. These two here, let's put them there, are the American style. Very intricate, very expensive compared to the others. They just deliberately hook like this, and they work really well. There's the uncoupling device underneath. But I can't. Those I got by accident. I got them on an eBay buy. Somebody put them on, so on a locomotive. I've forgotten. I think it was a Class 5. Had those on. Fair enough. I haven't got any others. So I don't intend to buy any either because they just are too expensive for what they are. But that's the American ones. These ones, this is another one I tried for carriages. Let's put that down. These ones actually, if I do this in my huge hands, they go in like this. You'll probably see that if I hold that up there. Like that. It makes a really nice, clean, strong, straight thing. And there's the uncoupling device underneath. The only problem with this was it's very long. On a lot of my wagons it sticks out miles in the front, so the wagons are very far apart. And on coaches too, actually, does the same thing. And another thing, on a locomotive that doesn't let it bend, they're so long. If I hook one off, this is so long that to get them lined up on a curve, you never manage to get them in. I'll do that again without my hand in the way. It's very difficult to get them in. On that angle, it'll go in. But when you're here on a curve or something, it won't go. And I found them very complicated. I'm still playing with those. So to finalise today's video, my 16 with both couplings on it, and I also have a 25 with sound in it, which also has both couplings on it. And as a little extra, I've made up 2 of these engineering trucks with both couplings on, so that I can actually hook them into a train and use locomotives that don't have both couplings on to pull anything I want, really. I'll put that there. Well, that's about it. The next video I'm going to do will be completely different, and I do mean completely different. As badly put together as this one, without a doubt, but completely different. So, thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon, and the next one will be up in a few days. Bye bye.